What's up, guys? Mr. Octagonal here from Octagonal Gaming. Now we're back with our NFL predictions. We now have Week 7. I almost said Week 4 for some reason. And we are continuing to suck. We're now 44-31 on the season. And after our very good Week 2, we have just... We've just, like, poop exploded. It has been bad. Last week was probably the worst week of the year. I've been confident with my picks. Like, pretty much all the weeks I'm doing bad. And now this week I need to do good, and I'm not super confident with my picks at all. So I'm probably going to do really well. And also shout out to Todd Gurley for not getting hurt with the thumbnail curse. If you guys don't know how I make these picks, I pick each game, but on this channel we go above and beyond 200 sub grind. I believe we're 6 away as of making this video. So I rank each game, not like how good it's going to be, but like how confident I am. Like, let's say the Seahawks and the Jets are playing, and I think the Jets are going to win because I'm high. But I'm not super confident, but I'm going to pick the Jets with, like, a lower number, like a 1 or a 2. But, let's say, like, the Chiefs and the Saints are playing, and I'm really confident that if the Chiefs are going to win, then I'm going to pick them with, like, in this case, a 15 because that's the highest. I'm just using examples. The Saints have been red hot. I'm not picking, like, super high against them. But we have the Vikings and Ravens, and I'm going with an upset. I'm picking the Baltimore. I think that would be an upset. But I'm picking the Ravens. Generally, like, what I've seen is, like, I have, like, 4 upsets, and they're all, like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I'm not, like, super confident. Last week, I got, like, them all right. I got the Chargers right. I picked the Rams. Yeah. But I feel like I remember the last time these two teams played. What was it, like, 2013? Wasn't the fourth quarter, like, back and forth and back and forth? I'm pretty sure the Vikings won, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, the Ravens, I think they're going to be upset because they just lost to the freaking Bears with a rookie quarterback who's never won before in his second career game, even though Mitchell Trubisky's looked really good. And the Vikings, they're just coming off a win against the Packers. I think the Ravens are going to win this game. I don't really see the Vikings going 5-2. That just doesn't really comprehend in my head. I'm picking the Ravens with a 1, and now we have the Super Bowl rematch on Sunday Night Football, the Patriots, and the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm picking the Atlanta Falcons. I think they've been better than the Patriots this year. And the main reason why I'm picking the Falcons is because, like, they want revenge. They want revenge. They don't like these 23, what? No. They don't like these 28-3 lead jokes. And they just choked a 17-0 lead last week. So I think the Falcons are going to be like, you know what? We lost to these guys. We choked. And we're out for vengeance. We're out for blood. And the Patriots barely beat the Jets last week somehow. Speaking of the Jets, they've been pretty decent this year. I feel like, let's go look at, like, the past 5 years. Except for last year, they've been a decent team. But their roster has been so bad, and I pick them to go 4-12 every year. Well, this year I picked them to go 1-15. But the Jets roster is so bad. On Madden, their best player was Bilal Powell, who's an 85 overall running back. How is that team 3-3? I don't get that, but I'm picking the Dolphins to win. The past 2 weeks, the Dolphins have screwed me over. Last week against the Falcons, I picked the Falcons really high. Dolphins screwed me over. Week before, picked the Titans really high. Dolphins screwed me over. The Dolphins have been very annoying this year. But I'm picking the Dolphins to win, but only with a 3. Because the Jets have somehow been decent this year. Tonight's Thursday Night Football game is the Raiders and Chiefs. It's actually going to be a pretty good game. The Raiders are 2-4. They've lost 4 in a row, and they probably cannot stand losing. I mean, Derek Carr, I believe, is still, like, a little rusty because he was hurt. I believe he played last week. Probably couldn't have done too well because he, like, wasn't 100%. And the Chiefs are coming off their first loss of the season to the Steelers, who the Steelers have been very weird this year. I believe they're 4-2 now, or no, they can't be 4-3 because they've only played 6 games. But they've been very weird this year. And I'm picking the Chiefs, but I'm only picking them over 4 because the Raiders have lost 4 in a row. They're probably mad. If they go 2-5, like, playoffs might be saying bye-bye because, like, kind of hard to make the playoffs when you're 2-5. And the Chiefs, they just lost. They looked phenomenal. I'd honestly say the Eagles have been the best team of the league this year because the only team the Eagles lost to were the Chiefs. If you think about that, the Eagles have been the best team in the league, technically, which is very hard to comprehend. But I am picking the Chiefs over 4. I think they've been much better than the Raiders this year. The Raiders have not looked great at all. So, mini recap, I'm picking the Ravens with a 1, the Falcons with a 2, the Dolphins with a 3, and the Chiefs with a 4. And now we have the Panthers and Bears. This is normally a game that I'd be super confident by saying, oh, Panthers, they just lost and they're taking on a bad team in the Bears. But I was actually, seconds away from picking the Bears. I'd actually picked the Bears, but, last minute I changed it to the Panthers. However, I'm only picking the Panthers with a 5, simply because the Bears have actually been pretty decent this year. Mitchell Trubisky has looked really good. Jordan Howard and the rookie Tarek Cohen with a 1-2 punch in the backfield. I still think the Panthers are going to win. But the Bears have not looked bad at all with Mitchell Trubisky. They almost won week 4 in his debut. No, week 5 in his debut. And they won last week against the Ravens. I think it's going to be a very close game. Trubisky's played in 2 very close games. Last week to overtime. Week before, it was a 3-point game that the Vikings won. So I think this is going to be a very close and interesting game that no one really expects to be very interesting. I'm picking Carolina with a 5. And now we have the Steelers and the Bengals. I think I'm kind of being generous to Chicago by picking Carolina so low. And I think I'm doing the same thing in this game. I am picking the Steelers to win, but I'm only picking them with a 6. They're coming off a win against the Chiefs. I think they're going to be a little flat. The Bengals are coming off a bye week, and before that they've won 2 in a row, so they've been good. However, I am picking the Steelers, but I'm not picking them super high because the Bengals are in almost a perfect situation. Just they're not in any perfect situation because they suck. But they haven't lost since week 3. Now we got the Bills and the Bucks. The Bucks have not looked like a good team. What are they, 2-3? I picked them to win the division, and they're not only 2-3. They don't have a bye week. They had a bye week 1 because of the hurricane. Them and the Dolphins really got screwed, and the Dolphins have been surprisingly better, which makes no sense. Meanwhile, the Bills on the other side have been surprisingly pretty good. Their defense has been one of the best in the league. They're coming off a bye week. They did just lose to the Bengals week 5, which I picked the Bengals because I'm the GOAT. But I am picking the Bills to win this game with a 7. The Bills have not been a team I'm super high on. And I'm still not. I don't think they're making the playoffs. Even though they have a good defense. They traded players like Sammy Watkins and Ronald Darby to tank. I think they're going to maybe finish 6-10, 7-9, maybe 8-8. But I do think the Bills are going to win this game. And I'm picking them with a 7. Just like the Panthers and Bears and Steelers and Bengals. Another game I'm lowballing. The 49ers and the Cowboys. I'm still picking the Cowboys. But I'm only picking them with an 8, which is still pretty high. The Niners are 0-6, but they haven't exactly looked dreadful. Their past 5 games, they've only lost by 3 points in every game. So they have made games close. And I would not be surprised if they just broke out of their shell and won this game. The Cowboys on the other side have not looked very good with all the Ezekiel Elliott drama. I don't know what is going on with Ezekiel Elliott. Is he suspended? Is he playing? Because he was suspended last week, but now he might be playing. This is weird. Can you just suspend him for the rest of the year because he should not hit women? But I'm still picking the Cowboys with an 8. But this whole Zeke thing makes no sense. And the Niners, they look like they want to break out of their shell. Now that I think about it, I kind of wish I picked the Cowboys lower. But I'm still picking the Cowboys with an 8. Maybe swapping them with the Steelers would be a good idea. Any recap, I'm picking the Carolina Panthers with a 5, the Pittsburgh Steelers with a 6, the Buffalo Bills with a 7, the Dallas Cowboys with an 8, and now we got the Jaguars and Colts. 2 surprising teams this year, in my opinion. The Jaguars have looked very solid. I know they lost last week to the Rams, but another very surprising team. The Jaguars are 3-3, minus Blake Bortles at quarterback. They've looked good. Leonard Fournette's been really good. The defense has been really solid. Jalen Ramsey and AJ Boye, the corners. They've probably been the second best cornerback tandem in the league because, Aqib Talib and Chris Harris up there in Denver, where marijuana is legal, by the way. Just felt like putting that out there. And the Colts, Andrew Luck's not been playing, so I guess it's not that surprising. I picked the Colts to make the playoffs, so what do I know? I also picked the Bengals because I'm just flat out stupid. I picked the Colts and the Bengals over the Chiefs and the Broncos. I'm dumb. I'm done. I'm dumb. Stupid. I cannot speak English today. But the Jaguars are coming off a loss. The Colts are 2 against the Titans. I think the Jaguars have been better. I think the Jaguars will be the better team on Sunday. I'm picking them with a 9. Now we got the Eagles and Redskins. The Redskins have a solid team. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. They were looking good last week, and they choked, and they almost lost to the 49ers, who were playing C.J. Beathard, who's never played before that. So I would count last week as basically an L for the Redskins. What are they, 3-2 now? And they're traveling to Philly. Yeah, they're traveling to Philly because week 1 they were home against the Eagles. They're going to Philly to take on the 5-1 Eagles, who I think have been the best team of the league this year. Carson Wentz has been great. Nelson Aguilar, Butterfingers, has surprisingly been good. And I think the Eagles are just going to keep rolling or keep flying in their case. So I'm picking the Eagles with a 10. And as I said, their only loss was to the other 5-1 team, the Kansas City Chiefs. So it's not like they lost to like the frickin' Browns or something. We're going to talk about the Broncos for a minute. Sorry, Chargers, you have your own series on this channel, so like, it's not that big of a deal. So after I made the picks last week, Turtle Player 9 told me that I picked the Broncos way too low. I picked them with an 11 last week, which is pretty high against the Giants. And they lost, somehow, some way. And I'm in a league with, like, some relatives. Like, this is how I thought of this, like, idea where we, like, pick a number. Like, that's the league I'm in. They all picked the Broncos with a 14, I believe. So I technically won with the Giants losing. Or the Giants winning, sorry. And, meanwhile, we got the Chargers. As I said, you have your own series. The Chargers have won 2 in a row. They looked pretty good. I mean, I predicted they'd beat the Raiders last week because Derek Carr wasn't 100%. I am picking the Broncos with an 11 once again. The Chargers are definitely better than the Giants. They're not that bad of a team at all. I know they started 0-4, but they're a decent team. I'd say 6-10 is reasonable for them. Philip Rivers is still a good quarterback. But I am still picking the Broncos with an 11. Recap, I'm making the Jaguars with a 9, the Eagles with a 10, the Broncos with an 11, and now we got the, almost at St. Louis Rams for some reason, the Los Angeles Rams and the Arizona Cardinals. For the Cardinals, they won last week. Adrian Peterson looked really good in his Cardinals debut. If you didn't know, Adrian Peterson got traded from the Saints to the Cardinals for like a 6th-round pick because Adrian Peterson was getting like no touches in New Orleans. And I kind of wish they kept AP because Mark Ingram kind of killed us last week. Over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. But I still think the Rams are going to win. They've looked really good this year. They're 4-2. Todd Gurley, I think, has honestly looked like a sleeper MVP candidate. Jared Goff has been good. And the Cardinals, Carson Palmer is an old man. An old man. And the Cardinals aren't that good. Picking the Rams with a 12. You guys watched my Octagonal podcast episode yesterday. I believe that was the episode 8. Where we talked about the Aaron Rodgers injury, and he's going to the NFC North, which is like for Packers. And the Gordon Hayward injury, that looks painful. But I'm picking the Saints with a 13 against the Packers. As a Lions fan, like I don't like Aaron Rodgers getting hurt, obviously, but like picking super high against the Packers, I'd never get to do this. So like, a man can dream. The Saints have been really good. They've won 3 in a row. They killed us. Well, we did score 38 last week with Matthew Stafford not being 100%, but our defense, which has surprisingly been pretty good this year. Last week, 52 points. That's a lot. But I'm picking the Saints. Aaron Rodgers ain't playing. Brett Hundley's not going to be the Saints because Brett Hundley is kind of trash. Now we got the Browns and the Titans, 2 underperforming teams, especially the Titans, because, like, the Browns are the Browns. I only picked the Browns to go, like, 4-12. I've seen people pick the Browns to win 6, 7, even 8 games, which is, like, come on, it's the freaking Browns. Deshaun Kaiser, Kevin Hogan, and Cody Kessler cannot really do that. Also, why aren't they starting Cody Kessler? Like, Cody Kessler, I think is their best quarterback, like, on the roster now. I'm not saying in 5 years. But why don't they just start freaking Cody Kessler? I don't really get that. And the Titans, I think they've underperformed. What are they, 3-3? They've not looked like that good of a team. I don't like Mariota played last week. And they still beat the Colts because the Colts are even worse. But I'm picking the Titans because it's the Browns. Browns aren't really going to win. The 49ers actually have a chance of winning. Browns really don't have a chance of winning. So I'm picking the Browns with... I'm picking the Browns. I'm picking the Titans with a 14. Recap it big in the Saints with a 13. The Titans with a 14. And now the final game, we got the Seahawks and the Giants. The Giants actually won last week. So round of applause there. Eric Flowers for MVP. But the Giants suck. I'm picking the Seahawks. I don't care how bad the Seahawks offense is. They're better than the Giants. They're at home. I'm picking the Seahawks with the max of a 15. So hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you think of the picks in the comments below. Tell me if I'm an idiot, because I've kind of been an idiot this year. Hopefully I do decent this week, because it's not like I'm picking the Lions super high for like the first time this year. So I'm out. Peace! And the Giants suck, by the way.